Hello, and welcome to the Illinois Green Party podcast. I'm here with Chase Linko-Looper. Hope I said that correctly.
You absolutely did. Thank you.
He is running for Green Party in West Virginia to be the governor. So, Chase, did you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Chase Linko-Looper. I am running for governor in West Virginia with the Green Party, which is actually called the Mountain Party here in West Virginia. I served a decade in the Army with a tour in Afghanistan. After my service, I ended up struggling with addiction, and um, I, uh, I ended up homeless. Um, and then once I was able to get back on my feet somewhat through a program called SSVF, which is a program that helps veterans find housing. They helped me get a house, or not a house, but an apartment, and they helped home house me for a number of months until I was able to get steady income. And then I lived on government assistance for a number of years
Mm-hmm.
until I was declared fully 100% disabled by the VA. And I know how it's not a good thing to be disabled, but when I am feeling good, right, I
Mm-hmm.
try to give as much back as I can to the community, and I try to spend my time in a way that I know is dedicated to helping others. Um, I have an 11-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She is the world to me.
Yes.
Um,
What's her name?
and her name is Harlow.
Harlow. Oh, that's
Yes.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of people that come back from serving, especially if they went overseas and fought, have the same issues. I know my son is in that group as well. Iraq war veteran Marine. Um, Military service does that to you. And I kind of feel like our government misuses your willingness to serve.
I can't agree with you more. The military likes to prey on the poverty stricken, the young, the ignorant, and then break them and call it service. Throw them away like yesterday's trash. They use them up, and then once they're done with them, they couldn't care less. There are so many veterans out there. Veterans have higher addiction rates, higher homeless rates, higher poverty rates, higher suicide rates.
Absolutely.
It is astounding, the struggles that veterans go through once they get back or out of the military.
Yes, I don't think people realize that, those little bumper stickers, you know, whatever they say. I can't even remember. I think I've blocked them out by now, but they don't do anything. You know, they we don't honor our veterans the way we should. You know, we need if you've volunteered your life for our country, we should take care of you the rest of the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we don't take care of anyone, by the way, but we especially should take care of veterans.
right. So I agree with you. Yeah. So I have friends who um, have told me that they have issues with me having full benefits from the government that I do, just because I went to war to kill people for oil and minerals and other rights that didn't belong to us. And I say I understand where you're coming from, right? But I didn't sign up for that. I didn't know what I was signing up for. I
Yeah.
was young. I was ignorant. I didn't have money. I
Hmm.
had a baby on the way. I needed to do something to get ahead. and I did what I thought was best. And I signed that blank check that was payable up to my life
Yeah.
to fight for the Constitution, to fight for the freedoms of the American people, not to go to foreign countries and rob people of their livelihoods,
Yeah.
of their homes. I did not sign up for that. But the government sent me there to do that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. And they still are.
Yep.
Um, wow. I had a thought, but I don't know where it went because that just really, it really gets to me, you know. I mean, they enter into our high schools. Why are they allowed in our high schools? You know, it's to get these people before they know what they're going to do and convince them that this is the way to go. It's an economic draft. And by the way, I don't know if people know that they made the selective service, which is where you register to be drafted, automatic now. I
Mhm.
believe that passed. I don't know for sure, but I know they were working on it. I know it passed the House. So they're prepping for, I guess, World War III. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Have you ever heard of the poverty draft?
I think that's
Um,
kind of what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Yeah, so the poverty draft is actually where the military targets people in poverty. They do go to more poverty stricken neighborhoods, specifically black and brown neighborhoods too. And they recruit people who are low income, low means to join the military to use them as bullet catchers because they need to fuel that war machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to fuel that war machine.
Sip Sauce says AOC was promoting recruiters in Bronx high schools. I knew I didn't like her. Anyway. What a phony. Yeah. Um, just supporting the military industrial complex and the Democratic Party. That's AOC. So thanks for that comment. And if you're here, like and subscribe so you'll catch the next one. Um, uh, so you are running the Green Party to be the governor of West Virginia, and you're a Green Party socialist. Can you tell me what that means to you?
So I can tell you exactly what that means to me. Owning and controlling the means of production, right? So I want the people, the workers, to be able to have a say in what goes on in, in their jobs, to be able to have a part of the income and the resources that are being put forth before them, in these factories, in um, that are being manufactured. I want the workers to be able to have a part of, even own a part
Mm-hmm.
of these companies that they are working for. Um,
Yeah.
that's what being a socialist means to me.
Yeah. Regardless of what the term means to whoever. I mean, it's how you define it. You know what I mean? Um, w- I worked at the same company for 25 years. It's an international company. I deliver, let's just say, delivered chips for 25 years. And when I started, we were called route business owners, and we had like stock options and all kinds of stuff. But slowly, that just kind of went away
Mm.
over the past, 25 years or so.
So they got greedy,
Yeah.
greed.
Yep. That's true. That's kind of what they do. So, so that's your ideology. What do you think about the two-party system and how third party plays into that?
So the two-party system has been destroying not only this country but West Virginia specifically.
Hmm.
The Democratic Party had control over West Virginia for many decades,
Hmm.
including over the coal boom, right? Over the height of West Virginia's coal industry. But then coal began to die, and West Virginians turned towards more ideological stances than they did towards, financial um, stances.
Mm-hmm.
So they went towards Republicans because they had more conservative ideologies. So now here in West Virginia, you have such a conservative state and such a conservative two-party system that you have Democrats voting and pushing bills that are anti-trans bills. You have um, Democrats and Republicans both pushing to bring coal back when everyone who has any sort of sense to them understands that coal is dying. It's almost completely dead here in West Virginia, around the country. It has been dying around the world. And here in West Virginia, there are less than 12,000 jobs. There are less than 12,000 jobs in the coal industry here in West Virginia. So it's not going to do any great thing for our state. We need to invest in renewable energy, in clean energy. West Virginia has wind, right? We have
Mm-hmm.
water, we have solar, we have
Mm-hmm.
all these natural resources around us. Why not invest in them? Why not be a leader in this country in clean energy? Because if we did that, we could make our economy boom. We could reinvigorate our economy.
Exactly. Why not be forward thinking and get on board of the next boom? Be some of the first people to do that, and
See,
your state will
natural
benefit.
gas. Yeah, natural gas was actually supposed to bring wealth to West Virginia. But these politicians, Democrats and Republicans both, decided to sell out to the corporations and
Mhm.
allow the corporations to rob us of our resources without giving anything back to the state, to the
Right.
people of West Virginia. So we missed out on that opportunity with natural gas. And with clean energy, with wind, solar, and water, we can actually build something worthwhile here in West Virginia that is not only sustainable but can help our people.
Yeah. Yeah. You need people in there that will consider the state and the population before the corporations.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how co-ops work. You get a vote, you all own it. Publicly owned thing is not bad because the money comes to your state, which goes to everyone. Um, I don't know if that's where you were going with that, but I did have a comment from my buddy Joe Harrington. Hey Joe, much needed items being delivered. Now you deliver information. Information also much needed. Good guest. So Josephine, um, yeah, I mean, you can only dig in the ground so long, and then it's dirty and dangerous work. I mean, people have died during that work. I
yeah.
mean, we
Like
have to we have to change it up.
if you go to a coal mine worker, I worked in the coal, well, on the coal mines. Let me be specific about that. I worked on the coal mines for a while
Hmm.
as a steel worker. I was doing fabricating with the metal and stuff. I was welding. So I worked on the coal mines for a while. And,
Hmm.
every day I was covered in just coal ash, right? Just soot
Hmm.
from head to toe. And if you go to a co-worker and you ask them, would you rather work in a clean energy industry, right? Or would you rather work in this field where you might get where you most likely will get black lung, right? You will get sick regularly, right? Or would you rather work in the clean energy industry for the same pay? What would you do? They're going to choose the clean energy industry every
Well,
single
yeah,
time.
yeah, because it protects your health. I mean, my dad worked in a factory, a rubber plant, when I was growing up, and they made the casters, the rubber for the casters. And I could always tell when he would have a night where he would do carbon black because he would come home and be like right here, and it'd be in every crease of his body. And it was back in the 70s, so they didn't make him do anything then. I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know what the rules were. I was a kid, but I was just like, wow, that can be good for you, Dad. However, I'm lucky he's still around. He's going to be 80 this year, so he's a tough old bird. So, yeah. What do you want to do for West Virginia?
It's something I've been talking about is the clean energy. I
Mm-hmm.
want to bring clean energy to West Virginia. I want to bring universal health care to West Virginia because our people are struggling, and I want to make sure that all West Virginians have access to health care because there are West Virginians out here who can't even get access to health care because they're so far out in the rural areas, and the health clinics that are even remotely close to these areas, a lot of them don't have the required equipment to take care of the people in these rural areas. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that the West Virginians are taken care of health wise. I want to make sure everyone has health care, universal health care. I want to make sure that pre-K through college is fully funded, right? I want to make sure that uh, the rich and corporations pay their fair share, right? Instead of putting that burden on the working class and making the working class, pay corporate welfare,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because every year the working class has to pay that corporate welfare that the corporations don't want to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to take up the slack where they don't do their fair share, you know. And we do most of the work. But by the way, this is me. I don't know how you feel about this. It just occurred to me. I've had this conversation many times. Me and you are the job creators. Okay? Corporations do not hire people, businesses do not hire people unless they need them. We make jobs by spending money. So we need the money in our hands to make the economy grow. Um, how do you feel about that? Has anybody ever asked you that one before?
No, makes sense though.
Yeah. Um, so you probably have a pretty bad critique of capitalism and the oligarchy. I mean, the things you were saying sounds like Jill Stein. That's what she wants to do. I'm a Jill Stein supporter, of course. I'm Green Party, right? And that's where I met you. First time we didn't get a chance to chat. We did a Green Party mixer where Jill attended and she spoke, and that was pretty amazing. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, two-party system, capitalism, oligarchy. They don't pay their fair share. It's just not working for us. So go ahead. What are your thoughts on those things?
On the two-party system and the oligarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, that ties into the that ties into the two-party duopoly, right?
Yeah.
So the two-party duopoly is owned and controlled by corporations, and these corporations are pulling the strings in our country, and everything that all these policies that are being pushed are just being pushed in benefit of the corporations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I
Our
would
government,
love
yeah.
I would love to see more Green Party members get into higher offices in order to fight and combat the oligarchy and the two-party duopoly, right? Because um, those two work hand in hand. Um, and it's a big part of why Green Party members Green Party candidates tend to not get elected is because of the two-party duopoly, which is funded by the oligarchy, right? It's a big part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the main part of it. They just ask for our donations just for fun, see what else they can get out of us. I mean, Kamala Harris at the DNC I say this every time I feel like the top of the DNC convention, those suites started at $500,000. And then you're going to try to tell me you're going to tax those people?
Yeah.
You've got to be lying to your audience. There's no way. They just paid to be there. You owe them. And like Butch Ware says, and Rudolph Ware, if you're in Illinois, because it's right in here, um, who funds you runs you. And
Yep.
our government is funded by the uber wealthy and the corporations that just they're treating our country like an ATM, like they do everything. You know, just trying to see how much money they can get. And they have no loyalty. They're not patriotic. They have no loyalty to us. So I don't know if, if I
Yeah,
sidetracked you
they
there.
only see green. What kind of makes me think of what's going on in Palestine right now. Palestine's got billions of barrels of oil, natural gas, and minerals, and Israel is over there bombing the hell out of them, and it's being funded by the United States. Yeah, what kind of benefit is the United States going to get? How much money is the United States going to get out of that? And
Zero. Where's zero?
Israel is attacking these other countries around, and the United States is still over there funding Israel.
Yeah. It's illegal. For one, it's both illegal here in this country and internationally illegal, not to mention immoral. You know, it's a genocide, and anybody that doesn't know that they're living in some delusion. It's a genocide. That
Yeah.
it's textbook. They said what they were going to do. That's what they're doing it.
You get those people who say genocide is a complicated term. What?
No, I think there's a definition in Merriam-Webster.
Yeah.
And by the way, Joe said, yes, you're green. He's the Green Party candidate for West Virginia. He's running for governor. Um, so, yeah. So I've been going to the protests here in Carbondale, and we just had a fundraiser to send for UNRWA to try to help those people. I mean, they're being starved. That it's the worst thing that I can imagine. What's happening to those people is the worst thing I can imagine. And according to Jill, it costs every single person in the United States $12,000 a year to support our war machine. It's not the military, because when you say military, you think of people like you. That's not what we're funding,
Yeah.
obviously, or else you'd be taken care of, right?
Right.
We're funding militarism, adventurism around the world to see what we can steal. That's how I see it. And I don't know where to go with that. It's just mind-boggling that people aren't more up in arms about it. And so Green Party, if they get 5% or more, is Jill on the ballot in your state?
Yes, she is. Our state actually has like full ballot access. So I'm on the ballot. Jill's on the
Woo-hoo.
ballot. Anyone who runs for office as a Green or a Mountain Party Green in West Virginia is going to be on the ballot.
That's awesome. That is the hardest part for most states, is to do that ballot access drive. In Illinois, we weren't successful. We'll try again. However, voting green in West Virginia helps the entire country, because 5% or more gives us ballot access. I think she said in like 38 states automatically. It releases funding, both now, from the federal government and the state governments, and it makes us a major party, or at least in contention. They might change the rules when we get there, because you know how they do. I mean, Democrats are great at lawyers and technicalities and
Yeah.
hiring people to come and sit and listen and then go report back, those infiltrators and things. I mean, they actually advertised for it. So
So
yeah.
I just moved to the capital of West Virginia, and I just got elected as the District 8 um, officer here in West Virginia. And I fully intend on being at that Capitol, at that Capitol building, uh, almost every day during that next session, um, and trying to recruit Green Party members, and say my piece and talk to these legislators, and I'm gonna see what I can do for the Green Party here in the South of West Virginia, because we don't have many Greens here in the South right now.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have them elect, like I think Jill said there's 150 elected across the country. But, however, I think this election will get way more people interested because I've never seen the buzz the way it's buzzing. And it's because of Gaza. We discovered that our country doesn't care what we think. So, so we need to get people in there that do, like you, right?
Yeah, I actually, whenever I first started going towards the left,
Hmm.
I was it's gonna I was a Bernie Sanders supporter initially, right? Yeah, as were many other people. But I was initially a Bernie Sanders supporter, and then I just started getting further and further and further left. And then I joined the Mountain Party, I think 2.5, 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just been, I've just been all in ever since.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in the political wilderness since Bernie kind of said Joe Biden's his friend as well. And it took me 4 years to find my home here at the Green Party. And I do feel at home.
Good.
Everything on the platform, I 100% agree with. Matter of fact, they stole most of it. So Democrats did. So you're also talking about starting a Green Party Veterans Caucus.
Yes. So myself and several other veterans are starting a veterans caucus. Um, we are trying to make sure that our voices are heard and on the national level with the Green Party,
Mm.
because who better to lead the anti-war movement than those who have been to war, those who know it firsthand. So that's a point that I'm trying to make with this veterans caucus, is we need to be at the forefront of the anti-war movement. So anyone who is a veteran and is a Green Party watching this right now, please contact me. Please contact me with your information, and sign up. Sign up for the Veterans Caucus, because we need people. We need people to join so that
It,
we can make this a thing. Thank you.
is it available? Can they sign up on your website, chase for
Um,
www.westvirginia.org?
no, but there is a section on there. Actually, just email me at chaseforwv.campaign@gmail.com.
Okay. Chase for WV, same thing you see there, but .campaign@gmail.com. So,
Yes,
okay. That sounds like a great idea. I mean, who would know better? And how could you argue with people that have been there?
right.
You
Yeah,
know?
got to be the leaders in the anti-war movement. It only
Yes,
makes sense.
that is 100% true. Can they can check out your platform and everything on your website right there?
On my website, you can look at my platform. You can look at a couple of the speeches that I've written and spoken. Um, my entire platform is on there if you would like to see it. It covers everything. Um, Not as in depth as if you were speaking to me, but it
Hmm.
covers everything.
Great. And they can also donate to your campaign. I'm sure you need money.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's so hard to
Absolutely.
ask for money, but that's the
If
world
you
we live in.
if you are feeling generous, please donate to my campaign at chaseforwv.org. We are in dire need of assistance financially. The campaign is it's very difficult to get funds raised here in West Virginia because West Virginia is a extremely conservative state. And they were the reddest state in the union during the last election, and not much has changed.
Mhm.
So if you can find, some little bit of change rolling around in your wallet, I'd appreciate a donation. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so we'll plug that again later if anybody missed that. And I might put it in the comments later for everybody to see. Make sure that that gets in there. So our current political climate, um, DNC in the Overton window. Uh, what do you think of Kamala Harris?
So, um, I I didn't know what to think about Kamala Harris when she first announced that she was running.
Mm-hmm.
I actually debated on whether or not, um, if I was going to vote for her based on identity politics. And then um, I I came to realization that that's not something you should base your politics on. Um, and
So you mean
um,
kind of because she'd be the first black woman president, that kind of thing?
yes, yeah,
That sounds
yeah,
like a great
black
thing.
and Indian woman president,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm, one of the things that I am one of the biggest advocates for is racial equity. So it really kind of tore me to um, come to the realization that she is just another Democrat, just another, corporate puppet.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, man, um, that's it's kind of difficult news, but
Yeah, it
um,
is.
and it's something that I noticed a lot of other people have a hard time coming to terms with. Is like whenever I try to talk to other people about it, um, it's it's like they don't want to have that conversation, and it just
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
yeah.
Um, however, Butch Ware has done an excellent job about dispelling the difference between like um just being like using your ethnicity to just be there or like representing what that means, you know.
Mm.
Um I mean, she's lived a privileged life. You know, she says she's middle class. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
um you know, you can't use it as a crutch. It's like you should be for social justice and racial justice, and I don't ever hear her talking about any of that. I hear Jill and Butch talking about it nonstop.
Yeah, that's something I actually commend Jill and Butch on is that they have a reparations platform. It's awesome. Democrats definitely don't have that. I think what Kamala Harris said was that um, black and brown people, specifically black people, would just benefit from the other policies that she would implement, and that's how they would get reparations. So,
And Jill specified that you would have to be a descendant um, from being a slave. You'd have to like not just every black person in the country, just it's that line of people that were discriminated against and enslaved. Those
right,
specific
there's
people.
there's actually an organization out there that has to do with that. that has been fighting for reparations for the descendants of enslaved Africans for many years now.
Hmm.
So
I have not heard of them. I'm sure. You don't know their name? I haven't heard of that. That's
I can't remember the acronym right off the top of my head, but
hmm.
if you just look up reparations for the descendants of enslaved Africans, I guarantee it'll be like the first thing that pops up.
Yeah. So yeah, Kamala Harris said that she wants to have the most lethal military in the world. That's
Okay.
terrifying.
Yes, that is. Wow. Yeah, so Kamala Harris said she wanted to have the most lethal military in the world. The Overton window, right? It's just getting
Hmm.
pushed further and further and further right. And we're not even recognizing it. Like I was saying earlier, we have Democrats in West Virginia who are pushing anti-trans legislation, right? It's mind-boggling. And then we have a Democratic vice president who is running for president, who is saying that she wants the most lethal military in the world. That does not fit at all with the democratic values that they claim in their political platform and their policies that they have on their website of the Democratic Party. That doesn't fit at all. But yet here she is promoting the most lethal military in the world.
Yeah. And you see where that's gotten us. It costs us $12,000 a year to have the most lethal military in the world and all the things that come with it. Basically,
Yeah,
it's just
how many more countless lives have to be lost? How many more countless lives have to be broken and destroyed for her to be happy with the most lethal military in the world? You know?
it it's joy in the face of genocide. I don't get it. I mean, I know a lot of people are super afraid of Trump. I get that part. He says a lot of crazy things like that could, if you're the person being talked about, that's scary. However, Democrats borrow our platform and then they take it to Washington D.C. to kill it, to just stall it for eternity. I mean, AOC keeps talking about winning. Well, she's won her seat, but what has she gotten accomplished? I don't know of anything. I can't think of one thing that she's done since she's been there.
Yeah, talking about stalling it, right? So, what was it? I don't remember where I heard it, but the Democrats have been talking about um, you know codifying Roe v. Wade for over 50 years, but they can bypass the House and send billions in military aid to Israel to commit a genocide. I guess priorities.
There it is. Priorities. Yes. Well, they like to use it to fundraise, for one. It's a wedge issue that they can fundraise off of. And so can Republicans if you're anti all that.
Mhm.
Um, that's just, I mean, there needs to be just like a civilized system. You know what I mean? They could have codified it at least 3 times. I mean, when Barack Obama got elected, he had a supermajority for a little bit. If he was serious, AOC, if he was serious, he would have got it done, right? So you're not serious? Like, well, I don't think you guys are serious. What have you gotten accomplished? I mean, the $15 an hour minimum wage came up in the Senate. Kamala Harris could have been the tiebreaker. She pulled out the parliamentarian out of the corner and dusted her off, and whoever that was, and said, "Oh, the parliamentarian says we can't do that." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Anything that's for the American people. The Democrats just go, we're working on it. They didn't even
It's
get a
just
vote for Medicare for all.
it makes me wonder um, when when is enough enough? When are they going to yes, now. Enough is enough now.
Yep. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just agreeing. I'm
No,
like,
it's all right. I got you. No, it makes you think like at what point are they going to say, okay, we should probably stop screwing over the American people when something really drastic happens? You know, like
hmm
what point will they stop and think about the American people?
if you're in DC right now and you have a D or an R behind your name, I think that's very few and far between because all they do is fundraise and it's run by money. Thank you, Citizens United. So
Yep.
it's going to take people like you and Green Party and, even other third parties. We need a multi-party system. Right now, Green Party has the most going on. That's why I'm here. I want to build it. I want to make it stronger. Um, and I want part of Congress. I want the presidency and the vice presidency. I want to see what we can do. There's a lot of things that the
Oh
president
yeah.
can do on day one. And when I met Jill in Homewood, which I think they might still be researching it, um, I told her about my time in March for Medicare for All, and there's a provision in the Social Security Act, 1881A, that I believe it was Libby, Montana, was given health care because there was an environmental emergency, I believe it was. They just gave them Medicare for all. Boom. You know? So why can't we do that for the country? It was just decided, like a stroke of a pen. There's so much that can be done on day one. Well, number one, the genocide has to stop. She'll call them and say, that's it, the money's no longer coming. Joe's got a comment. I've been missing some things here. Our defense budget is equal to the next 8 countries' portion of the spending combined. Right?
And many of our bases are actually around countries that have dictator governments. So I wonder what's going on with that, right? Like that. Let's just go into conspiracy theory, but ignore me. Ignore me.
Um, who do you mean? Like Kamala, or who are you talking about? Getting support? Oh, I guess I misunderstood. We can move on. Oh, talking about the spending. That's what we were talking about. Um, and then Joe also says she's getting a lot of support from elephants. So of course, I think he's talking about Kamala there. I mean, when I saw that Dick Cheney endorsed her, wow, right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
Can you? Okay. Yeah, Kamala was endorsed by Dick Cheney. Yikes.
I heard that. Yep, and she did like yeah, an event with Dick Cheney's daughter, Lacey Cheney,
Um, Lynn? I think it's Lynn. Yeah.
Lynn Cheney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to garner votes right there.
Yeah. That's basically telling the left, oh, just ignore this. It's fine.
Yeah, look, nothing she does is going to deter the people who are going to vote for her. Nothing she does, because they have already made it up in their minds that
Eh,
genocide won't deter them from voting for her, right? So they have made it up in their minds that Trump is the big bad boogeyman, and they have to stop him by voting for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So nothing, literally nothing, will stop the people who are voting for Kamala Harris from voting for Kamala Harris.
Until they realize that the violence that they're doing in the world is here. And at some point, they have to see that. They've got like 80 cop cities being built. There are, I mean, cops just do what they want with impunity. You know, Pe- unarmed civilians are getting murdered in the streets, like in their homes. You know, the
Yeah, so
violence is here.
there's actually two different Supreme Court cases: DeShaney versus Winnebago and Gonzalez versus Town of Castle Rock. And these two Supreme Court cases made it crystal clear that police are not there to protect and serve. They're only there to protect private property, and that's it, right? That to protect private property. They're not, if they want to protect and serve, that's a decision that they make on their own. They don't
Mhm.
have to do that.
Yeah, legally they don't have to. They do take an oath, and I'm glad to say that the city I live in Southern Illinois, Carbondale, our police force seems to be pretty great. They've been protecting our protest every week, every Sunday. They make sure we're okay because we get people that stop and try to yell at us, but it doesn't work because we're a peace protest. So we just, say, like, love you anyway, drive on. You'll get it someday.
Yeah.
Um, one of the last things you wanted to mention was the media bias and how they're ignoring third parties.
Oh, yeah. So here in West Virginia, there was a debate that was scheduled with WOWK, and they had sent out invites for every candidate for governor on the ballot. And those invites came with criteria that you had to meet. You had to have raised at least $100,000 in your campaign, which is near impossible as a grassroots candidate. And you would have had at least 10% of the polling. Yeah, how are you going to do that with a media blackout?
That's what I'm
So,
like. But that's what the
so
media is for, to raise money and to raise your poll numbers.
yeah,
Like, wait,
so
one, two,
so that those are the things that they had in criteria for me to be able to debate. So me and the other three third party candidates made a
yeah.
fuss about it, and they decided to cancel the debate without any reason. And then they all of a sudden had another debate scheduled with another media station
Mm-hmm.
and did not send out invites to the third party candidates.
Mm.
So, West Liberty University has decided to host a debate for all five candidates on the 22nd of this month. And I believe it will be at 7 p.m., but it will be on
Where
the
is
20,
that?
West Liberty University.
Hmm.
Uh,
What city do you
uh,
know?
huh?
They can look it up. Do you know what city it is? What part of the country? I mean, part
Yeah,
of the state. Sorry.
it's in the northern panhandle
Okay.
of West Virginia.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know why I can't remember the name of the town right off the top of my head.
That's okay.
But
But West Liberty University.
West Liberty University will be hosting the debate with all possible candidates. I'm not saying all candidates will be there, but there hopefully will be all candidates. But it will be the 22nd of this month.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Have to
I,
have you
I
back
need
on
to
and
keep
talk
my
about that.
peace.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. I mean, well, thank goodness you're already on the ballot, which that helps a lot. So then you
Yeah.
just campaign and fundraise and tell people about yourself and what you want to do for them, like the job that you would like to do to serve the people of West Virginia. That's what Green Party is about:
Yeah.
serving the people, not ruling them, serving them. Um,
Yeah. You know what I've come to understand is that it doesn't really matter if you're clean cut or if you speak properly, right? It's about if you're genuine. If you're genuine and if you have a good heart and you mean what you say, right? If you actually intend on doing what you say you're going to do, Awesome. Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, that's what I believe, right? That's what I've realized is that it's not about how clean cut or how proper you are. It's about how genuine you are and how much you care.
Yes. And that is very evident to me in the Green Party. So, I mean, I've met a lot of great people. Um, did that go? I don't know. I was saying thank you to that person real quick. Um, yeah, I mean, think about running for city council or feel there's in all over the country there's places that there's not even people working in positions that you could just almost walk into it if they just say looks like you could do the job. Just look, just investigate, call your state capital, see what you can find out, go through their website, run as a green, and then you don't have to compromise.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. um so you gave me a little note here about closing thoughts and a call to action. What's your message is to West Virginia, and what's your key message to voters and those who feel disillusioned with the current political system? I hope that was a good setup.
So I I just want to say that I know the two-party duopoly has its claws in the American people, and it's really hard to get out of that. And I'm sure there's at least a few people who are watching this who might still be debating on whether or not to vote for Kamala Harris because they have to stop Trump. Um, but I, I say vote your conscience. Um, what can help you sleep at night, because that's why I run with the Green Party. That's why I have been with the Green Party and I will stay with the Green Party, is because I believe in what it represents and what it stands for. And it does. It helps me sleep at night knowing that I'm a part of something bigger than myself, and that is the Green Party. The Green Party actually cares about humanity and about the American people.
My buddy Joe said it isn't hard if one has a moral compass that is working. Good one, Joe. Fully agree. And you said West Virginia traditionally votes Republican. Is that right?
Yes, West Virginia traditionally votes Republican since the early 2000s. Yeah,
So voting green in West Virginia is kind of like voting green in Illinois. You risk nothing and you gain a lot. You gain your sleep at night for one. You, you can vote and feel good about it. You don't feel that kind of half sick feeling like, ooh, it's better than the other one. That lesser evil thing just makes me kind of ill. Um, so just do it. Don't hesitate. This is the time. Now we are building it big now, and look out for 2026 and 2028. Just gotta say. Um, you also wanted to talk about advice for veterans, activists, and socialists.
say again.
You wanted to, yeah, your fans having a moment, huh? Advice for veterans, activists, and socialists. What advice do you have? Who are questioning their role in the military-industrial complex or looking to become an activist.
Oh, I believe I answered that earlier in
Yeah,
the.
join the caucus.
Yeah. Join the caucus, and you'll be a part of the Green Party Veterans Caucus, and be a leader in the anti-war movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you feel passionately about, what's happening in Gaza is wrong, that it's a genocide, find your local ceasefire protests and join them. They would be happy to have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's another thing. And also activism makes you feel better. For me, when it first started happening, I was very distraught. It used to make me cry a lot. And then once I found my ceasefire group, it just started growing. Now we're like, this is a tiny town. It's like 20,000 people. We get 100 people a week, every week. So a little less if it rains or if it's like bitter cold, but we've been there every week since it started. Um, oh, my buddy Yvonne, my bestie, says West Liberty is near Wheeling. There you go. um, yeah, so doing something instead of just sitting there on your computer and being angry or being upset or arguing with people. Don't argue. There's no point. Make your point. Never make it personal. That's my advice. And get out there on the street. See what we can do. And then go vote. Right? And
Absolutely.
Mr. Chase Linko-Looper needs your vote for governor of West Virginia. You can discover his platform and everything and donate because he sure could use your funds. Maybe he could get on the radio if he could get 100,000. So let's donate, people.
I'd appreciate it. ChaseForWV.org.
Yep. So do you have anything else? We're pretty much out of time. We got 3 more minutes. I think we covered a lot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I told you I'm not a long-winded person.
Now I understand. I understand why you roll that out because I'm a little like that. I like to ramble, but when I get going on a paper, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been a pleasure to meet you.
Same.
Yeah. So I wish you luck, and everybody check out his website and support Chase for governor of West Virginia. And let's turn this country green. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yvonne. She says, great combo and good luck, Chase.
Thank you.
Okay.